Hello. Welcome back to the Reread and Review Freely Society. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe if you are enjoying the content on this channel and would like to officially become a member of this society. We are continuing on from the chapter 4 review of Dream Count by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. Okay, which is a book that you could check out from your local library. That's where I got my copy of the book from. I first of all want to apologize for the inconsistency in my videos. I just try to read and record and edit whenever I have time and all else. So you just have to bear with me. And then in between all of that, I'm having to recheck out the book and everything for the free 99. So today we are getting into Zikora Chapter 1. So the title is just Zikora in the book. And this switches from the character that we were discussing before, which was Chia. So we've gotten through the first couple of chapters for the character Chia, and we've learned who she is and what her relationships are like and what her lifestyle and the dynamic is in her life and where she is presently. And now we're learning more about her friend Zikora. Okay, and this is a formal introduction for Zikora and describing who she is and what her relationships are like and how really different her life is and her personality is and her traumas are from the character that we know as Chia, who we were first introduced to in the book. So I am looking away briefly because I'm looking at notes that I've jotted down, and I also have a message at the end of this video to share with you all that's not related to the book at all. So stay tuned. As we've previously established, Zikora is Chia's best friend. This chapter is very short at 6 pages. This chapter has an explosive opening. So make sure you are reading along, okay? Detailing Zikora in labor and about to give birth near Washington, D.C., which is in the U.S. Zikora has a very different personality than Chia. In moments of stress, she comes up with sarcastic statements in her mind and is very anxious about everything, no matter if it is major or minor. She is also rather decolonized from America, like me, and is a bit condescending in her view of America and Africans who are more assimilated to American culture, whereas Chia likes America and often defends the uniqueness of America. Zikora is a successful lawyer, stating that she has good health insurance on page 83. I like how Adichie continues to drop facts that point out the social injustices that exist in America. This time, Zikora speaks of her fear of dying during childbirth, since the mortality rate for Black women giving birth in American hospitals presently is so high. It is a fear that I share myself as an African American woman that hopes to have biological children one day in a hospital environment. With learning all of this information about the high mortality rate and how us Black women are 3 times more likely to pass away during childbirth here in the US, it makes me want to consider doing a home birth. But I do understand if an emergency was to occur, that I would have to go to a hospital and be in that hospital like environment and possibly, be operated on by a doctor that I'm not familiar with. So it is important to address systemic racism in all institutions in any given society. America is not exempt from that, and doctors aren't exempt from being checked on their racial bias. Zikora's energy gives feminist. She does this little subliminal thing where she's just like, if I was a man, men don't have to go through what us women have to go through. That she is a very independent woman. She doesn't let any man stop her. Okay. The transitions between stories told by Zikora about her background from page to page could be clearer. For example, at the bottom of page 94, Zikora goes right into starting the next paragraph from her mother telling her to calm down in the delivery room to the story of when Zikora's stepmother gave birth to her half-brother. The first sentence of that paragraph starts with the word her, which was unclear to me, as I thought the story was about her mother's stepmother and not about Zikora's stepmother. Zikora's character has depth, as her background stories seem like they would be lighthearted at first, but reveal traumatic events that have shaped her stoic personality, but has made her successful as far as her determination is concerned, while also being the foundation of the pain that she still carries as an adult, especially regarding the tension in her relationship with her mother. An introduction to Zikora's baby's father is made at the very end of this chapter, and I even had to reread that sentence twice to understand that Zikora had transitioned to another thought in her head and was introducing us to a new character who might be described in more detail in the next chapter of Zikora. And so the next chapter of Zikora, that's the end of Zikora chapter 1, obviously, and the next chapter will be chapter 2, and it's still about the character Zikora and her background and people who have developed relationships with her in her life. But yeah, overall, I just thought it was interesting how she described the trauma that her mom inflicted on her and what that tension is like in their relationship. And I really liked how in depth it was and how it really gave insight to why Zikora is sort of considered to Chia, that one like really uptight friend, whose foundational emotion seems to be anger a lot of the time. And so that sort of gives us more insight to that. And also I find it very relatable to have tension with even my own black mother. They a lot of black mothers tend to be very strict, but they have to be in a society like this. And even though I hope I will still be like, if I become a mother one day, God willing, that I would be a much more gentler black mother, but sometimes society drives us to that point and everything. So hopefully we can change society and make it a lot better for us, black women in particular. Also, this is the other message that I wanted to give you all before I go that's not related to the Dream Count book or anything. This is regarding some recent tensions with racial relations here in the US, and this is about the Montgomery bus boycott and how it's related to some of the things that are happening today in 2026. The Montgomery bus boycott, one of the most significant and productive acts of protest in this country's history, would not have worked if all the people who participated put themselves above the cause, okay? And I was speaking with my mother and my grandmother, and they were sort of saying, like, mentioning this most recent controversy. And when I asked them their thoughts on it, this is what they had to say. To see our people in Central Florida fail to participate in this Asian business boycott, which we all know should have happened long ago, and especially to buy hair products, just shows how well the conditioning worked that taught us to be, and that we can never be attractive without adding something to ourselves. Like how a lot of these stores are owned by non-black people who sell weave, and you don't have to be a genius to see out in society that there are a lot of women who wear weave, and us black women are famous for wearing hair extensions slash weave. I was so disappointed to see a black hair care brand allowing itself to be used to bamboozle people into shopping at an Asian owned hair store in the black community by doing a whole commercial implying that the hair care brand has ownership in the store itself. We saw the hair galleria try to trick us 3 ways. This is the equivalent of Latinos for 45. Please encourage your friends and family to reverse the conditioning. Do better for Cyrus Carmack Belton. You can see the hashtag Cyrus Carmack Belton on all social media platforms to get a full grasp of the situation, and all the others killed, maimed, and mistreated, and put our money back into our communities. Also, see the hashtag for Pastor Jamal Bryant. We need as many supporters and advocates regarding the situation and just for the black community still. As much as we'd love to say there's no more lynchings, there's no more racism, there's no more type of brutality, inflicted upon us from any group or organization or not of our racial makeup, it's still an issue. So we got to get up, got to get out, we got to get the word out, and we got to fight this. There's no shopping at Asian-owned hair stores right now, and even though there are other non-BIPOC community-owned hair stores out there, they aren't really at the top of our list right now because Cyrus Carmack Belton was essentially lynched in broad daylight by Asian people who owned a hair store. So that's why we are specifically targeting this particular group of hair store owners. And instead, just buy your hair and your hair products from Black owned businesses, okay? We are the global majority, so I think it's about time we start acting like that, or acting like we know that. And there's just so many more options, is what I'm saying. So, just like the Montgomery bus boycott, that did damage to the white supremacist group back then when Martin Luther King Jr. was orchestrating it. And this is something that we could do that could inflict damage on Asian hair store owners who constantly disrespect us and constantly remind us that our lives do not matter to them. So I think we can continue to make a change. The blueprint has already been left for us, and all we have to do at this point is follow it. Once again, thank you for being a supporter of this channel and joining this society. Also, don't forget to look at the links in the caption below if you choose to support the global state of women, as well as your girl who's running this society. Right now, this economy is difficult for everyone, especially Black women who, once again, face an intersectional identity in this society and who has constantly been targeted by this current administration. Feel free to donate if you so choose, any amount, by viewing the links below. And see you guys in the next video.